As we age, stubborn belly fat becomes harder and harder to move. It's not just because we tend to exercise less, but also specific hormone changes related to menopause for women and andropause for men. Today, we'll look at 7 simple ways to lose belly fat over 50. You'll discover the crucial hormone that could be sabotaging your weight loss efforts, and how to fix it. You'll learn a core truth about fat which many doctors get wrong, a popular food that can make fat loss nearly impossible, and much more. First up, it's important to understand the impact of bread and flour-based foods. Wheat is one of the worst foods for triggering inflammation. This is common knowledge for people with gluten allergies or celiac disease. However, even in people without these conditions, modern wheat can contribute to chronic low-grade inflammation. Furthermore, modern wheat impairs metabolic function, can mess with hormones, and promotes the accumulation of visceral fat around the abdomen. As drive. William Davis explains documentary, having visceral fat that you get, for instance, by cutting fat in your diet, eating more healthy whole grains or sugary foods, you grow visceral fat is enormously disruptive on hormonal status. That's why men who have a lot of tummy fat also have large breasts, because visceral fat expresses an enzyme called aromatase that converts fat into hormones male testosterone to estrogens. So these guys with big tummies and big breasts have very low testosterone, very high estrogens. Also, the gliadin protein of wheat and related grains is partially digested to a peptide called the A5-penapeptide, which is a very effective stimulant of prolactin. It prepares the male to breastfeed and it makes his breasts grow larger. So consuming grains by a male is enormously disruptive on libido, self-esteem. Guys really struggle with this. They're not only obese or overweight, they also have large breasts, lose interest in sex. I mean, it really is disruptive. Women have a little different experience. They get visceral fat. The breasts, by the way, do grow about 1 cup size with consumption of grains and sugars. But even more importantly, when you have abnormal stimulation of breast tissue like that, from the high estrogen levels of females, just like males, it raises risk for breast cancer about 400%. It's a huge fact. So when women go grain-free, they lose their visceral tummy fat, shrinks quite rapidly. They lose about 1 cup size and breast size. Guys go back to normal. By the way, they have no more breasts. And they reduce their risk for breast cancer. So doing this is not just a matter of losing a few pounds. There's a whole collection, a whole landscape of metabolic and hormonal changes that what's more, wheat contains exorphins, opioid-like compounds that bind to receptors in your brain. These compounds create a sense of pleasure which drive addictive feelings. That's why you might crave bread if you eat it regularly. Fortunately, these cravings tend to disappear within a matter of weeks when people stop eating bread and flour-based foods. So, if you can go 2 weeks without flour, it's possible to hit the reset button in your brain. From there, it becomes significantly easier to reduce belly fat, hormone dysfunction, and heart disease risk. We'll show you replacement foods to make it easier shortly. Next, you want to think about the hormone progesterone. Progesterone levels naturally decline with age. A decrease in progesterone levels indirectly leads to fat redistribution, particularly around the belly. This is partly because as progesterone decreases, estrogen dominance may occur, which is associated with increased fat storage around the midsection. To support your body's natural production of progesterone, focusing on specific nutrients in your diet can be highly beneficial. Incorporating magnesium-rich foods is particularly important. You can find this mineral in dark leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and legumes. Zinc is another essential mineral that supports progesterone levels. You can increase your zinc intake by eating pumpkin seeds, spinach, and even a bit of dark chocolate. Omega-3 fatty acids are also crucial for progesterone production. Incorporating sources like fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel, can provide a rich supply of omega-3s. For plant-based options, chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and Brussels sprouts are excellent progesterone boosters. Next, fill up on plenty of protein and healthy fats. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein, making it even more important to consume adequate amounts. Protein is essential for maintaining lean muscle mass, which naturally declines as we get older. Why does this matter for belly fat? Well, muscle tissue burns more calories than fat tissue, even when you're at rest. By preserving muscle, you're essentially turning your body into a more efficient fat-burning machine. Protein also helps keep you feeling fuller for longer, reducing the likelihood of overeating or snacking on unhealthy foods like bread. The same goes for healthy fats. For years, we were told that all fats were the enemy. But research shows that healthy fats are crucial for reducing insulin resistance, heart disease, and weight loss. As Dr. Mark Hyman explains, we know that fat calories don't produce insulin in the body, whereas carbohydrate calories do. And if you actually will eat a diet that's higher in good fats and lower in starch and sugar, which is a plant-rich diet, not plant-based, but plant-rich diet, meaning 70 to 80% of your plate should be vegetables, that you will have enormous impact on reversing this whole cascade. And in the extreme, if people have, for example, type 2 diabetes on insulin, we're using ketogenic diets, which are 70 to 80% fat. I don't think everybody should do that. I think it's really for certain indications, but I do think that the increasing overall fat content that's good fats and reducing starch and sugar and eating a lot of plant-based foods is really important. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon and sardines as well as in nuts and seeds have also been shown to reduce inflammation in the body. This is particularly important because chronic inflammation can contribute to weight gain and make it harder to lose fat, especially around the belly. And of course, reducing inflammation also lowers your risk for heart disease and arthritis. Additionally, healthy fats play a vital role in hormone production and balance. As we mentioned earlier, with progesterone, hormonal imbalances can lead to increased belly fat. By including sources of healthy fats in your diet, you're supporting your body's ability to produce and regulate hormones more effectively. Are you finding this useful? Click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn notifications on to see new videos as we release them. At number 4, don't underestimate the power of body hormones. As we age, our sleep patterns often change. You might find yourself waking up more frequently during the night, or struggling to fall asleep. But sleep disturbances could be sabotaging your efforts to lose belly fat. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that a lack of sleep was associated with an 11% increase in abdominal visceral fat. Now, visceral fat is particularly dangerous. Unlike subcutaneous fat, the kind you can pinch, visceral fat wraps around your organs deep inside your abdomen. Visceral fat is metabolically active, meaning it produces various substances that can be extremely harmful. These include inflammatory molecules and compounds that can increase insulin resistance, skyrocketing risk for diabetes and stroke. Moreover, sleep deprivation messes with two crucial hormones that regulate hunger: ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, which stimulates appetite, increases when you're sleep deprived. Meanwhile, leptin, which signals fullness, decreases. This hormone imbalance can lead to overeating, and, you guessed it, more belly fat. So, how much sleep should you aim for? Most adults need between 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. But, for various reasons, it can be harder to stay asleep with age. Making a concerted effort here, you can make a huge difference. To improve your sleep, try sticking to a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed at the same time every night. Turn off mobile phones or computers at least an hour before bed. Because the blue light they emit interferes with the sleep hormone melatonin, you might like to create a relaxing bedtime routine, perhaps including some light stretching. Writing or reading. Beyond sleep, stress can also play a major role. When you're stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. Think of cortisol as your body's built-in alarm system. It's great in short bursts, helping you deal with immediate threats. But chronic stress means chronic cortisol elevation. And that's where the trouble begins. Elevated cortisol levels can increase your appetite, especially for calorie comfort foods. Ever noticed how you crave sugary foods when you're stressed? That's cortisol at work. What's worse, cortisol encourages your body to store fat. So, recognize that managing stress isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Especially as you age. Incorporate stress reduction techniques into your daily routine. This could be as simple as deep breathing exercises, meditation, or a relaxing hobby. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, sugar. If you're serious about shedding that stubborn belly fat, it's time to break up with your sweet tooth. Sugar's impact on our metabolism changes as we age. Our pancreas responsible for producing insulin becomes less efficient. This means that sugar in our bloodstream lingers longer, increasing the likelihood of it being converted to fat, particularly around the midsection. But it's not just about weight. Excess sugar consumption also accelerates the aging process itself. Advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, form when sugar binds to proteins in your blood. These AGEs can damage collagen and elastin, leading to wrinkles, sagging skin, and worst of all, artery damage. Now, sugar can masquerade as a mood booster, but believe me, it's a false friend. While it might give you a temporary high, the crash that follows can exacerbate feelings of fatigue and even depression. This emotional roller coaster can lead to comfort eating and a cycle of sugar dependence. Most Americans nowadays consume more than double the maximum limit according to most guidelines. It's potentially the single biggest culprit for the obesity epidemic we're currently experiencing. Cutting back on sugar isn't just about the obvious culprits, like candy and soda. We're talking about hidden sugars in seemingly healthy foods, like flavored yogurts, granola bars, and sauces. Even things like salad dressings can often contain added sugar, so it's important to read the ingredients labels, or even better, make your own dressings at home from olive oil and lemon juice. Not only do these skip the added sugar, they also contain polyphenols that support metabolism and fat breakdown. To help your body deal with any sugar spikes, start the day with a protein-based breakfast, like eggs, chia seeds, or natural yogurt. A protein-rich breakfast will stabilize your blood sugar and reduce cravings throughout the day. And at number 1, as you age, it becomes more important to exercise strategically. After 50, muscle mass starts to decrease, a process called sarcopenia. This loss of muscle can further slow your metabolism, making it harder to get rid of stubborn belly fat. While any movement is better than none, certain types of exercise pack a more powerful punch when it comes to melting away abdominal fat. Resistance exercises, whether with weights, resistant bands, or your own body weight, help preserve and build lean muscle. This doesn't mean you need to become a bodybuilder. Even light weights can make a significant difference. Strength training is particularly important for women, due to its impact on hormonal balance. Next on the list is high-intensity interval training. Don't let the name intimidate you. High-intensity interval training simply means alternating short bursts of intense activity with periods of rest or lower-intensity exercise. This type of workout is a game changer for burning belly fat, because it continues to burn calories even after you've finished exercising. A phenomenon known as the afterburn effect. But what if high-intensity workouts aren't your cup of tea? Don't worry, low-impact exercises like swimming, cycling or brisk walking can also be effective. These activities provide benefits without putting excessive stress on your joints, which is important if you're struggling with pain. Finally, if you have high triglycerides, it can be a major indicator of poor fat metabolism. Remember to click like and subscribe.